The first sailor thought it was the sunset. The second realized the sea itself was burning. The third never had time to understand what happened. Within seconds, an entire fleet was consumed by flames. Men jumped into the water. They screamed. They prayed. But the fire followed them. Because this was no ordinary fire. It floated. It spread. It burned even on the surface of the sea. For centuries, this mysterious weapon protected one city against the greatest armies on earth. Kings wanted it. Caliphs tried to steal it. Spies crossed continents searching for its secret. And yet, more than 1,000 years later, no one knows exactly how it worked. This is the story of Greek fire. Imagine standing on the deck of a wooden warship in the 7th century. Ahead of you, the greatest city in the Christian world, Constantinople. Behind its massive walls lived nearly 500,000 people. Its markets overflowed with silk. Its churches glittered with gold. Its harbor connected Europe and Asia. To conquer Constantinople was to control the known world. Many had tried, none had succeeded. But now, a new empire had risen, the Arab Caliphate. In only a few decades, its armies had conquered Syria, Egypt, Palestine, Persia, and much of North Africa. Every campaign ended the same way: victory. Nothing seemed capable of stopping them. And in the year 674, their fleet appeared before the walls of Constantinople. The siege would last for years. The Byzantine Empire was exhausted. Its treasury was nearly empty. Its armies had suffered defeat after defeat. Many believed this would be the end. But hidden inside the imperial shipyards, Byzantine engineers were preparing something the world had never seen before. Not a larger fleet, not stronger armor, not a better sword. A weapon so terrifying that survivors would later describe it as liquid lightning. History remembers one name: Callinicus, a refugee from the city of Heliopolis in Syria. According to Byzantine chroniclers, he arrived in Constantinople carrying an extraordinary secret: a formula, a weapon, a miracle, or perhaps something far more dangerous. But here is the first mystery. Did Callinicus really invent Greek fire? Or did he simply perfect an older technology? Modern historians still argue about the answer, because almost everything we know about Greek fire comes from people who feared it, not from those who created it. And that makes separating fact from legend incredibly difficult. Yet one thing is certain. After Callinicus entered Constantinople, history changed forever. History often tells us that Greek fire saved Constantinople. But that isn't entirely true, because before it became a legendary weapon, it was a desperate gamble. When the Arab fleet first appeared outside the city, the Byzantine Empire had almost nothing left. Its richest provinces were gone. Its armies had been shattered. Even the emperor understood that another defeat could mean the end of an empire that had ruled for more than 300 years. The Arab commanders were confident. Why wouldn't they be? They had defeated the Persians, they had conquered Egypt, they had taken Syria. Now only one prize remained: Constantinople. The city had survived countless sieges, but never an enemy like this. The Arab fleet controlled the sea. Their armies surrounded the land. For the first time in centuries, Constantinople was almost completely isolated. Inside the city, fear began to spread. Food became more expensive. Rumors filled the streets. Some believed the end had already come. Others prayed that the famous walls would once again perform a miracle. But behind the walls, something unusual was happening. In hidden workshops near the imperial docks, engineers worked day and night. Massive bronze tubes were being mounted onto the bows of Byzantine warships. Large pumps were assembled. Copper tanks were sealed. Whatever they were building, it had never been used before. No soldier knew exactly what it was. Most sailors weren't told either. Only a handful of trusted men understood how the new weapon worked, and even they didn't know everything. Because the secret wasn't protected by walls, it was protected by people. Each craftsman knew only one small part of the process. One prepared the mixture, another built the pumps, another operated the siphons. No single man possessed the complete secret. Even if one of them were captured, the weapon could never be recreated. It was one of the earliest examples of compartmentalized military technology, a concept so advanced that modern intelligence agencies still use the same principle today. Finally, the order was given. The Byzantine fleet sailed out of the Golden Horn. The Arab sailors watched calmly. They expected another ordinary naval battle.
Instead, they were about to witness something no one had ever seen before. The two fleets moved closer. Archers prepared their bows. Captains shouted orders. The sea was calm. Everything looked like an ordinary battle. Then, the bronze tubes on the bows of the Byzantine ships slowly turned toward the enemy. For a moment, nothing happened. The Arab sailors watched in confusion. Then, a deafening roar echoed across the water. A stream of blazing liquid burst from the bronze siphons. Not arrows, not burning oil, a continuous jet of fire. It struck the first Arab ship. Its sail ignited instantly. Within seconds, the deck became an inferno. Men rushed for water. It did nothing. Others jumped into the sea. The flames continued burning across the water. Discipline collapsed. Ships collided as terrified crews tried to escape. Some vessels burned before reaching the Byzantine line. Others fled without firing a single shot. The battle was over, almost before it had begun. For the Byzantines, it proved their secret weapon could change history. For their enemies, it created something far more powerful: fear. Stories spread across the Mediterranean. People spoke of ships that breathed fire, of flames that even water could not extinguish. Some believed God protected Byzantium. Others believed the devil did. Reality was probably simpler, but no less terrifying. Greek fire wasn't magic. It was technology far ahead of its time. But the greatest mystery remains. If Greek fire was so powerful, why did no empire ever copy it? Byzantine ships were captured. Engineers died. Arsenals were seized. Yet no one recreated the weapon. For more than 7 centuries, Greek fire remained almost exclusively Byzantine. The empire guarded it as its greatest state secret. Only a few craftsmen knew the mixture. Others built the siphons. Others operated the pumps. No one knew everything. Capture one engineer, and you learned almost nothing. Steal one ship, and the secret remained hidden. Even allies rarely gained access. The Byzantines understood something modern nations still understand. Knowledge is the most valuable weapon, and it is safest when no single person possesses all of it. As centuries passed, Greek fire returned again and again, against Arab fleets, against the Rus, against pirates, against rebels. Every victory strengthened its legend. Some believed angels had given it to Byzantium. Others claimed it came from forbidden ancient knowledge. The truth was simpler. The Byzantines protected information better than anyone else, and that knowledge became more powerful than armies. In the end, Greek fire achieved exactly what it was meant to do. It bought the empire time. Not years, centuries. Again and again, enemy fleets arrived before Constantinople. Again and again, they left defeated. The weapon became a symbol of the empire. Feared, respected, secret. But no empire lasts forever. By the 15th century, Byzantium had become only a shadow of its former self. Its fleet was gone, its arsenals nearly empty. The engineers who guarded its greatest secret had vanished. Then, in 1453, Sultan Mehmed II surrounded Constantinople with an army unlike any before. This time, Greek fire could not save the empire. The city fell, Byzantium ended, and with it, one of history's greatest military secrets disappeared forever. Perhaps the formula was burned, perhaps buried beneath the ruins, or perhaps it died with the last craftsman who knew it. We may never know. Today, we possess weapons far more destructive than Greek fire, yet we still cannot explain exactly what made it so extraordinary. Maybe that's why it continues to fascinate us. Because some mysteries are never meant to be solved. Sometimes, the greatest power isn't the weapon itself, it's the ability to keep it secret. But while Greek fire protected Constantinople for centuries, there was one force it could never defeat: gunpowder. And in our next episode, we'll witness the siege that changed history forever: the fall of Constantinople. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe to First Dynasty, because history is far more incredible than fiction.